So these earbuds don't look flashy, they don't really scream premium, but these little earbuds, the FreeBuds 7i by Huawei, might just be one of their smartest audio moves in years. Because what if you could get clean ANC, LDAC support and actual tonal balance without paying flagship prices? So that's the promise here, and after a week of daily listening, I think Huawei's onto something. Let's check it out.
Have you heard of the heroes ending? They couldn't protect and they couldn't defend in all the way. Have you heard of the heroes ending? If we go further, then we'll never be the same.
So visually, the 7i's are pretty minimal. No shiny stem, no gloss overload, and they're really light, about 5 grams each side, and the case is surprisingly pocketable as well. You're gonna get IP54 water resistance, which means they're fine for workouts or a bit of rain. Just don't drop the case into a puddle. Comfort-wise, they're pretty solid. The seal is consistent even after an hour or two, so it's one of those fits that, kind of disappear quietly once you start listening to music. And that's always a good sign. Pairing is also straightforward with the Bluetooth 5.4 chipset, and you can stay connected to 2 devices at once, so you can jump from laptop to phone without fiddling with menus. There's also touch controls for playback and volume, plus an auto pause when you take one earbuds out, so very convenient there. You're gonna get an extra codec option if you're running on Huawei or Harmony OS phones, including the L2HC 2.0 codec, which gives you near lossless audio as well. And for everyone else, you still get LDAC support, AAC and SBC, all handled very well, which means you get high-res wireless audio as well. So latency-wise, it's been surprisingly good, and I've tested this with PUBG and there's very minimal to no lag. Even gunfire, footsteps, they sync, movies and videos are perfectly fine, and Huawei clearly worked on wireless stability here. So Huawei calls their ANC Intelligent Dynamic ANC 4.0, and I'd say that's fair, and it's not the deepest ANC I've heard, but it's smart and actually works really well. It adjusts automatically depending on where you are, whether you're on a train, you're in your office, or you're on the street. It's aggressive enough to kill aircon hums and crowd noises, but keep vocals audible, good for safety awareness as well. And from my test, wind handling is also improved, and I rarely hear the pressure wobble that cheapo ANC earbuds struggle with, and you don't really get a lot of buffering with it as well. So if you're coming from other mid-range buds, you're gonna definitely feel a step up here. So let's talk about sound quality, because this is where Huawei usually surprises people, and the FreeBuds 7i uses an 11mm quad magnet dynamic driver, and it genuinely sounds bigger than the size suggests. LDAC streaming helps to unlock more detail and texture when you feed it with good source. In a sub-bass perspective, it digs deep and it's not bloated, and it's a little bit like that, you feel it and not hear it so much, kind of sub-bass, and it's present enough for EDM and cinematic tracks, but never swallowing the rest of the mix. So think more controlled punch than ground shaking rumble. So the mid-bass here carries warmth and rhythm, and the kick drums here have definition, the bass guitar here have body. It's slightly elevated tune for more musical enjoyment rather than reference flatness, but all of those can stop before it muddies the mids. So if you love pop, R&B or lo-fi kind of soundtrack, then this will be very satisfying. Vocals come forward very nicely with a clean edge. There's clarity and space between instruments, especially in LDAC mode, and male vocals sound full, female vocals are airy without being harsh, and Huawei's own 10-band EQ helps if you prefer a little bit more mid-presence, something I would tune a little bit forward when listening to podcasts or acoustic tracks. Highs here are smooth, not piercing. You get high sparkle in the hi-hats and strings, but it rolls off slightly at the very top. That's intentional, and Huawei went for kind of like that fatigue-free listening over studio brightness. And if you're sensitive to those very high notes, then this is one of the more forgiving pairs that you'll find. Soundstage is moderately wide, more open than you expect for this price point, and you can sense layers, vocal centers, instruments spread cleanly on the sides, and directional cues in live tracks and games come through very clearly. Overall, it's a slightly warm musical signature, smooth top, tight lows, natural mids. Huawei tuned this to sound pleasant for hours, and it really works. So this is a test to see if the Huawei FreeBuds 7i is a good earbuds for making phone calls. So this means speaking in relatively quiet environment, and this is the call quality they can expect. So what I'm going to do now is to turn on a simulated background noise so you can hear a difference. So now there's a simulated background noise playing in the background, and this is the call quality that you can expect from these earbuds. So what do you think of the call quality? Let me know in the comment section down below. So none of those great sound quality would make any sense if you don't have the battery life to last. So you get around 8 hours per charge with ANC off and 5 hours with ANC on. Add it together with the case and you're looking at roughly 35 hours in total. So this is USB-C charging only, there's no wireless charging, but 10 minutes gives you about 4 hours of playback, pretty convenient if you're heading out the door. You also get a comprehensive app support, full ANC control with different intensity, 6 preset EQs and a 10-band manual EQ control. You get complete gesture and swipe controls remapping, wear detection, and even to update your firmware, making it a very flexible pair of earbuds. So the Huawei FreeBuds 7i isn't trying to dethrone Sony or Bose or Apple, but what I like is that they're quietly doing something that those brands often forget, which is to deliver enjoyable sound in a practical, affordable package. And if you're after balance, tonality, reliable ANC, and a compact design that just works, then these earbuds deserves a look. They feel less like a budget compromise and more like Huawei finally figured out what everyday listeners actually want. If you find this video helpful and like what you see, do subscribe to the channel and like this video. And if you want to check out another video, click on these videos here and I'll see you over at those videos.